Where my money at?
I find myself asking that all the time.
I don't understand how we can be doing this for so long.
Yeah.
And I still don't have a bag to my name.
Not a bag. Mm-hmm. And the reporting comes out this week that the bag has just been floating around. Mm-hmm. Yet it's never once crossed my gaze.
The bag has been given to people who frankly don't deserve it like I do.
Exactly. They're not putting in the work 2 times a week on a podcast. Liberal Joe Rogan, I'm right here.
Oh my God, I'm right here. I'm right here. And Adam Friedland's right there.
Exactly.
I guarantee Adam Friedland's not getting Democrat money.
Exactly.
It's fucked up. But if you don't know what we're talking about, there was this Wired article that came out, and massive caveat, still very much a developing story.
Yeah,
there's much to the story we don't know. Yeah, very contentious story. The people that are listed in the story have publicly said that like the way they were represented was wrong in the story. So lots of details still out there.
Yeah.
But the basic gist is that this group called 1630 came in, connected with some creators through this media group called Chorus, and offered crazy money, like $8,000 a month to some creators to push a certain narrative that wasn't really disclosed and not disclose the relationship, maintain a secret relationship with 1630, and like filter all politician interviews through Chorus Media.
Yes, and Chorus Media would be allowed to oversee your content, tell you to delete certain things. I think also alleged in the article is that you couldn't criticize anybody else involved in the initiative on your platform. They had near total control over your content.
Yeah, and like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that's the allegation that's like core to this article. Again, there's a lot of people listed in the article that are saying like this is not what actually happened. So you take it all with a grain of salt. But if any of this is true, and like I feel like we know that this is how some groups operate in like the social media influencer space, that's fucking insane, man.
Yes, dude. And it's like it's one thing to get paid for like a video. To
get
paid to do a video, and that goes whether it's like, I guess, disclosed or not, even though most of the time it is. Most of the time you can fucking tell when somebody's been paid to make a video. That's one thing. To just be like put on the payroll of an organization, have them restricting the kind of content you do, you're just like the press for them. Yeah. Like you're just a mouthpiece for that group.
Yeah, and it's like a little peek behind the curtain. There's people that cut, like once you get a sizable platform, there's hundreds of groups that come up to you and say like, hey, do this for money. You know what I mean? And we tell most of them no. And the times that we have done stuff, it's very clear. Like we say like, hey, go follow this group. Like it's obvious. It's hashtag added. Like you know what it is. But yeah, to just like agree to be a mouthpiece. And I don't know what the association between 1630 and the actual Democratic Party is. Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's like literally just like a state, like a party apparatus or party propaganda. But I mean, if it's obviously aligned, and if it's just pushing out the same message, you're not supposed to criticize any Democrats. All your politician interviews come through us first. Like, I don't know how you can call yourself independent at that point.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can't, because you're just on somebody's payroll to do things. Like the problem is like the stipend that's coming out to you with conditions.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with anybody taking like money to make a video, but it's like when you're just on somebody's payroll, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's been the response from a lot of people is like, oh, what, creators shouldn't get paid? And it's like, no, you obviously should get paid for the work that you're doing if you can. The issue is who you're getting paid by and what you have to do to get that money.
Exactly. I'm a big fan of getting paid.
Of course.
I love getting the bag.
We love money here on this podcast.
Huge bag chaser right here. But like, there's certain groups I'm just frankly not going to take the bag from because I don't want to burn my dignity like some U.S. Congress people.
Yeah, and it really be like that, unfortunately. One other takeaway I had reading this is like, the creators themselves aside, who's actually associated with this effort, I'm not actually sure. But the issue is broader than just these individuals, because like this is how all of the groups on the left act. Like we know the right does this, right?
Yeah.
Like Daily Wire started with oil money.
Yes.
We Ben knew this, but now the left or the Democrats are sort of like catching hold of what they should be doing in this media space, and they're trying to like replicate the same thing that the Republicans did. But the reason it won't work is because so many creators on the left hold beliefs that are in opposition to what would make the groups money. The groups that want to fund these operations would fund people who hold beliefs that are in opposition to how those groups actually make money.
Well, that's why it's like the alleged people being funded are like Democrats.
And that's what
it's like centrist Democrats.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, man. It's just, there's so much contention right now. And a lot of the contention comes from the idea that like some of the influencers that were accused of being on this list, of being on this group's payroll to do all these restrictions, aren't actually on it because they're coming out and saying, no, I actually never signed this contract. I wasn't involved. Yeah. And it's like part of the stipulations that were reported are that you can never tell that you were involved with this, that you have to keep your involvement secret.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't believe you, kind of.
Yeah, like if that were true, Taylor Lorenz would have to be just like outright lying. right?
Yeah, which I guess maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, but like that would open her up to like wicked lawsuits and stuff like that, to just openly lie about these creators, and obviously, like, you know, there's monetary damages associated there. But I mean, maybe, I don't know, but it's just like, we know that this is how these groups operate. This is how they've operated on the right and for the center for a long time. It wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to operate like this in the sort of quote unquote new media space. And the worst part of all of it is like, your boy's getting ignored.
That's what I'm saying. The worst part about this isn't the dark money. It isn't people shilling for Democrats. It's that I'm not the one getting paid.
And like, to be clear, we would say no.
Of course, yeah.
Like if this group came up and said like, hey, work for us in secret. Like, obviously I'm not doing that.
We got hit up by Polymarket months ago.
Yeah.
Polymarket hit us up months ago in the DMs, and I desperately wanted to see how much they'd offer us just so I could say no to it and then come to you guys and say, I fucking denied the bag from Polymarket. But the conversation didn't even get that far.
Yeah, Like the only things available to left-wing creators are like dick pills, gambling, and drugs of some kind.
Nicotine.
Yeah, like those are the only things that we can promote and get paid for. And that sucks.
Bring me the dick pills.
Yeah, and that's just like sponsorships. The stuff that these influencers are accused of doing is like pushing a message consistently through their content for, like you said, a stipend every single month.
And again, it's funny that this didn't come about till after the election.
Yeah, that's when all the effort started in like spring.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, like I can't criticize that too much because at least we're starting to get on the train. You know what I mean? But like, really, you were that ignorant of the online space that you didn't think this should be good until now, and now you're throwing money at the wrong people, and you already got found out?
Well, even, like, the strategy itself just baffles me. Yeah. Like, first of all, you don't want the creators to disclose their relationship with you. That just burns any trust that their audience has with them. For sure. Because, again, these people call themselves independent media. I think, obviously, we think independent media is important nowadays, but you're just straight up not independent media if you're getting money from these massive organizations that work so closely with the Democratic Party.
And it's like, I feel like it's usually so easy to tell when, like, a thing is paid for.
Yeah.
Like it's different when you're recording something that you're being paid to say or that you're like coached into saying rather than something that you actually like came up with. Mm-hmm. You can tell, like it looks weird.
It's just like the obvious deceit involved in this operation. But then it's also like, you're not going out and trying to create like a left version of the Daily Wire, right? Yeah. Which is what we've been saying people should do for a long time. You're going out and you are connecting with independent, like individual influencers and then paying them $8,000 to say Gavin Newsom is cool. Like you're doing nothing to create an apparatus or a system to like churn out content like Daily Wire has done. You're just paying these individual people to like say a few things. Like it just baffles me how they think this will be anywhere near as effective as what the right has done.
It's like still decentralized. And it's like, I think what the right has done is wrong because it's the right and what they believe and think and want to push is wrong. But also because like their whole operation is this centralized thing where they get talking points from the top down.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels like they're trying to do that. If what's in this article is true, it feels like they're trying to do that, but without the centralized portion of it. Like they have no infrastructure like the Daily Wire where they have influencers who can get their fucking talking points and then go out and spew them. I feel like if you want to have a relationship with the online space where you're funding creators to push messaging, you just need to align yourself with creators who organically fall into your lane because then the content isn't disingenuous. Then people can still go out there and be themselves and be authentic, which is the most important thing when we're talking about this space. And you don't have to like worry about any weird dodging the FEC.
Yeah, but the thing with daily, like an operation like Daily Wire is that there are times where they get, you know, the messaging email.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't accuse Trump of, you know, X, Y, and Z. But I think a lot of the time they're kind of like the faces of those brands, they just kind of get to do whatever they want.
They do. Yeah, no, that's an important
and there's a lot
of
of like, there's not that much ideological diversity because they're all conservatives, but they do get to say different things and disagree with each other, right?
Yeah.
Like you could watch Ben Shapiro and get a different take from Matt Walsh. They're both going to basically agree on most things, but they're allowed to do their own thing, which feels like something like funders on the left don't let the people they pay do.
Because they want to have so much control over the people that they're paying for, because I guess they think of them more as like, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it's like brand assets than actual people that they're funding to push a message rather than propagandists. I mean, it's what it is. But yeah, the Daily Wire, the people there get so much more freedom. Matt Walsh says insane things. The only contention Steven Crowder had with his deal with the Daily Wire, his slave contract, his $50 million 4-year slave contract, was that he would lose money if he got banned on YouTube. It wasn't that he can't say things like that would maybe get him banned on YouTube. It's that in the event that he gets banned on YouTube and doesn't bring in revenue to the Daily Wire, he would lose money for however long he was banned.
Yeah.
That's how the right operates. You just get money.
Yeah.
And you can say whatever except for select points where you have to, do the talking point.
Yeah, and and the last thing I'll say on this is obviously the left needs to fight back in the media. We've been saying this for a long time. The media game just isn't there. I don't think it can happen. Did you see the Democratic Party a couple of months ago launched their own YouTube page?
Yes,
It was a live stream thing. That shit sucks. Don't do that. The Republican Party does not do it like that. The Democrats should not be doing it like that.
Because you don't want your fucking people pushing your message to be associated with you.
Yeah. And you need a sort of broad range of ideological perspectives for this to actually work, because your goal is to pull audiences together eventually and get them to do the same thing politically. But also it's there is a part of me, similar to sort of how campaign finance works, where it's if you accept money from these groups to push a certain message, at some point it's are you just corrupted by the same forces we're supposed to be fighting against? Because if you're on the campaign trail and you accept money from private health insurers and then say, I'm going to do Medicare for all, and then get to Congress and don't do it, we know it's because you took money from the health insurers.
Yeah, if you are being funded by the Democratic Party, you're going to be beholden to the message, because it's going to get to a point where if you can't stand on your own, that you need to pay rent. And in order to pay rent, you have to appease these people. And you don't want to lose access to that paycheck, either because you need to pay rent or you've become accustomed to a lifestyle creep.
And I think a lot of these people just start believing it.
Yeah.
They don't even deal with the cognitive dissonance. They just start believing the things that they're saying because they get paid to say them, and holding the idea that what I'm saying is kind of wrong, and I need to make money at the same time is incredibly difficult psychologically. Absolutely. So I think these people just kind of acquiesce.
But it's also the Daily Wire is one step on the pipeline, right? The alt-right pipeline isn't an explicit thing where every single nobody got together in fucking 2010 or 2005 or whenever YouTube came about and we're we are going to fund a multi-level operation to slowly push young boys to the right.
Yeah.
It happened because cultural conservatism ran rampant within certain communities, and then the Daily Wire spawned because they could take advantage of the culture war bullshit and act as that step on the pipeline. Those are the people that get funding. The Democrats have nobody that is actively pushing people towards left politics that can then land at the people that they're funding. Yeah. They're just funding people who are reaching an audience of politically minded people anyway.
Yeah, Democrats are just way too buttoned up, and they're afraid to be seen as anything but buttoned up. I'm sure Hassan Piker has been offered tons of money to do random shit. I'm sure he gets offers like that all the goddamn time, but they kicked him out of the DNC, right? They're so unwilling to allow this sort of ideological diversity as a part of the media operation, and I think that genuinely hurts what they're trying to do. And I think it's part of the reason that people like us don't get approached for any of this kind of shit.
Oh, for sure.
Because we've titled episodes shit I don't want to die for Israel. And that immediately disqualifies us.
The shit we get approached for is sell this fucking digital camera.
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah. You'll get 40% commission.
Yeah, if you make an Instagram post about this digital camera brand that we're doing, we'll give you commission on the post. No.
Yeah. It's not great, folks. We'll keep an eye on this fucking
We'll keep
dynamic.
an eye on this as the story develops and as people are fighting on TikTok.
Oh yeah, people are very angry. Because this came out yesterday, right?
Yeah.
The story dropped yesterday.
And now everybody's mad at the people who are named in the story, and then the people named in the story are I didn't do it. And it's kind of a catch-22 for them if they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because if you did do it, you can lie about it by saying you didn't, because you can't disclose. And if you didn't do it, people think you can't disclose. So
and there's even some people that have been beefing with those influencers for a while who feel very vindicated, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
It's this person got caught maybe doing something bad. That doesn't make you good.
Exactly.
But we're good still. You know what I mean?
Hype.
There's nuance to all this. All you need to know, good things are good, bad things are bad. Hit up a million.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
What a warm welcome back.
It's Thursday, August 28th. It's getting colder outside.
It's kind of lovely.
It is a little bit lovely to not be sweating so much. But we're back bringing you another hit-o. Today we got to talk about just some catastrophic failures at the DNC.
That's really kind of the name of the game here.
yeah. Like just genuinely unforgivable things that happen at the DNC meeting.
They just can't catch a vibe. They just can't do it. There's so much money piled up behind them. They can't look away.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about communism, MAGA communism.
Yes, sir.
Because it's cool when Trump does it. And then we'll talk about Kilmar Abrego Garcia today as well.
Because it's important to update us on what's going on with
it
this.
Is.
And it's genuinely insane.
They just won't leave this one guy alone.
They are using the full might of the United States legal system just to attack one guy who didn't even do anything.
They got nothing better to do.
And
of course we'll be talking about the Ritchie Torres interview with Adam Friedland that came out yesterday. Shout out to our brother in arms.
Yes.
Solidarity with podcasters, of course.
Always.
Insane. But we will get to that in a little bit. Before we do, I'll remind you to go become a patron if you want early access to everything you hear on this show. And it helps out the show.
It does help out the show. It helps out the show in ways you couldn't even understand.
This is truly independent media over here at Head in the Office.
Exactly.
And it's funded by people like you. Call us PBS. We're the new PBS.
Exactly. PBS now. PB now.
Oh, I did mean to say in the cold open, like the model is like Zeteo, right? Like what Mehdi Hassan is doing. It's just funded by subscribers. Like that's how you do independent media.
Yeah.
You're funded by the people that read you.
Well, because then you're beholden to the people who already fucked with you. Mm-hmm. You're not beholden to somebody who's like, I actually didn't like what you said.
Yeah. So, and we love money here on this podcast, but we've never been true bag chasers.
It got to be top one favorite thing right there.
Yeah. You can follow us on all the social medias. It's all down there in the description. You can also leave a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. Quick reminder for you Spotify heads. You got to leave it on the most recent episode.
Yes.
So if you want your review read on the next episode and you haven't yet, you got to leave it on this episode because we're not going to go look back at the old ones.
And if you're listening to this episode in the future, go to the most recent episode because it's too much for a young guy like me to handle.
Too much for young guys like us. But we'll read the Spotify ones at the end. Apple 5-star reviews first. This first one from Ross W81 as a Pod Save the World listener.
Whoa.
Really great takes on a lot of what the progressives feel about the Democratic Party. The crooked media people need to take notice and start calling out our own cronies and bought politicians. Truth nuke.
Yeah, crooked media need to take notice and throw a bag at us. That's what I'm thinking.
True.
That's what I'm thinking. This next one from Milkman. Must listen for those who condemn all political violence. These two young men present a fictional universe rivaled in depth only by the likes of Tolkien and Herbert, focusing on the nation of a so-called United States of America. The creative endeavor has to be applauded for its sheer tenacity in capturing the absurdity juxtaposed with the banality of a cruel and unjust imperial force. Horrors of war, poverty, and corruption are presented to the audience through journalistic critique of recent events, both within the spotlighted nation and those of its allies and foes. In sum, Hit-O is a triumph of creative work, only hindered by its host's tendency to go beyond believability and relying too heavily on the first as tragedy, then as farce paradigm. 10 out of 10, a must listen for those who condemn all political violence.
Yeah, I wish this was fictional, man, but unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. This next one from Plants vs. Zombies Lover 27.
Nice.
25-year-old white girl from CT. Hello, I discovered you boys on TikTok and can say proudly this is my favorite podcast.
Let's go.
Your chemistry and commentary together is unmatched. I look forward to new episodes each week and know the news I'm getting is legit and delivered in a way that isn't depressing. I thought it was really cool. Hit-O got a shout out from a caller on the Majority Report.
No shot for real? First we make it on Don Lemon. He just Don Lemon on his show just plays a clip of us just all the way through. Just it says cool.
You're telling me that my goats, Sam Peter and Emma Viglin, heard about us?
The guy who made me a Social Security head?
That's crazy. Wait, okay, drop in the comments like where that is because I need to see that.
I need to post it.
Yeah,
it needs to be posted everywhere.
And then they need to invite me on and boost us and invite us to join their media network.
Wait, what did they say? That's crazy. I'll fly to New York to go on.
I'll fly to New York. I'll fly anywhere.
Exactly.
I'll fly anywhere, moment's notice. Lastly, I think your theme song is really cool and was hoping you could talk a little about it. It stimulates my brain. Lastly, I condemn all forms of political violence and Hamas. I see big things in your show's future. Keep it up.
Let's go.
The theme song. So 40 years ago, we were trying to figure out what the fucking format of the show would be. we keep in mind, we had no idea what we were doing.
Not a clue.
We had no media backing. We just started doing it. And I believe Gage found the theme song on like the royalty-free library on YouTube.
Music library or whatever it's called now. I can't remember what it is, but it's just there. Because I remember I was watching like a YouTube video like 2 years ago or something, and I heard the music start playing in the video, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Insane.
And so that's been our theme ever since. Maybe we'll update it one day, but I feel like it works.
I think it works too.
It's pretty classic.
It bangs.
It's just it's simple and inviting, I think. But.
Exactly. This next one from Jen 48220. Librarians listen to this podcast. There's a cat. There are excellent and informed opinions. There are jokes that even old people will mostly understand. These guys do their research and give great explanations about political and social issues from a progressive viewpoint, often with very funny commentary, and I condemn Hamas and all forms of political violence, of course.
So true.
So true.
Thank you all for those reviews. If you want your review read, you know where to go. Apple Podcasts or Spotify, when we'll get to those at the end of the episode. Of course. But I think it's time to get into the news and talk about the DNC meeting that happened.
Talk about condemning Hamas.
I condemn Hamas. I demand the release of all the hostages.
Yep.
And that's where it ends.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all I have to say.
No further analysis.
The war started on October 7th, 2023. There was nothing that happened before. No provocations or
huge on the war starting on October 7th.
So we got to talk about the DNC. So the DNC, we mentioned this at the tail end of last episode, but they had their sort of yearly meeting to decide what the 2026 platform is going to be.
Yes.
They met in Minneapolis. And they voted on a slew of resolutions. The resolutions committee voted on a slew of resolutions that essentially like cement what their beliefs are for the next period of time, right? I didn't know this, but apparently the resolutions committee is the only like body that can actually do this. If you propose a resolution as just like a delegate in the Democratic Party, it goes to this committee that decides. Like it's not like a vote at large. So they were voting on a number of resolutions, and I will sort of tag a disclaimer or preempt this a little bit by saying like there is some good shit that they did.
Yeah, of course.
But the reason we're going to dive into what they did on Israel and Gaza is because like that's the thing that's clearly dividing and animating the base.
Yeah.
Not even dividing the base from the people that run the party.
It's their least popular thing.
Yeah. And
people don't like what they think about this.
And they just like will not let it go.
Yeah.
Like they just will not let it go whatsoever. So here's the story. The National DNC took 2 votes on resolutions regarding the issue of Gaza. The first resolution called for a ceasefire, an influx of aid, and a release of hostages. It was pretty boilerplate, standard, nothing controversial in this resolution. And when it was voted on, it sailed through.
Yeah.
The second resolution, far more substantive, called for, quote, an arms embargo and suspension of military aid to Israel and a recognition of a Palestinian state. Again, first resolution passed, very little drama. Second resolution met with immediate pushback.
It's like my favorite thing about the first resolution and it passing with like no drama or whatever is that those are the 3 things that we have no control over. Those are the 3 things that no matter what, the Democratic Party cannot put to a vote and actually make happen.
Yeah.
We don't control foreign policy right now. That's Trump that does the thing. And nowhere in here can Congress make a law that says Israel has to put in an influx of aid without attaching it to an arms embargo, or else it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
This is a meaningless resolution. This is a virtue signal.
Yeah, it's meaningless. And the thing that keeps popping up every single time there's like the party taking action on this is the release of the hostages bit.
Yeah, it's like
we have no ability to, like, even if the Democrats had a trifecta, there's nothing we could do about the hostages.
And it's like,
we don't fund Hamas.
Is releasing the hostages not implied with the ceasefire? Because by tacking it onto everything, they act like everybody is just forgetting about the hostages that were taken on October 7th. Nobody can forget about the hostages that were taken on October 7th. It's a very important part of the conflict.
Yeah.
But like when we do a ceasefire, do they think that we want to push a ceasefire and also the hostages stay with Hamas? I don't understand. It's absurd.
I just want people to put their guns down and nothing else changes.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything stays where it is right now.
But the second resolution fell off the rails. So from Dave Weigel on Twitter, quote, DNC member offers amendments that would add language that calls for a release of all hostages, adds offensive to the arms embargo and military aid to Israel, and replaces Palestine as a country with a call for a 2-state solution.
What's the point of the last one? Is that not like the same thing, except you just don't want to say the dirty P word?
I've come to realize, especially since Ritchie Torres supports a 2-state solution, that 2-state solution means nothing.
Because if you are replacing recognized Palestine as a state with 2-state solution, is Palestine being a state not implied within 2-state solution? Or is it just sort of an admission that you don't view Palestinians as people who deserve their own right to self-determination.
I guess it's the second one, right? Because like saying that you support a two-state solution but allowing Israel to do everything they're doing now means nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
and saying you support a two-state solution in like as an objection to Palestine as a state. Like,
yeah.
Once again, with the ceasefire thing, do they think that I mean just it's all Palestine?
Yeah.
No more Israel.
Also, so after this, there was some back and forth. A lot of the pushback just consisted of like, you're criticizing Israel a lot. Why not also criticize Hamas? Again, we are the only group that we fund in this conflict, if you want to water down the language and call it that, is Israel.
That's so lame.
We have no control over anything Hamas does. We have control over everything Israel does.
It's so lame. And it's like the people that levy that, the people that bring up, oh, you're talking about Israel but not talking about Hamas, know exactly what they're doing. They know that they are just saying that to distract you from being able to deliver any substantive critique to what the Israeli government is doing right now. They don't give a shit about the issue. They just want to let it go on so they can keep presumably keep their AIPAC dollars.
Yeah, it's a deflection. It's a deflection, plain and simple. After some back and forth, obviously the second resolution failed to pass. And this is just an insane move.
This is damn near worse than just the second resolution failing.
100%. I don't know why the fuck they decided to do this, but the chair of the DNC, Ken Martin, had a talk with some of the members in between the first resolution and the second resolution. And then again, from Dave Weigel, quote, Martin returns, announces that he will withdraw the previously passed Gaza resolution and appoint a task force to work through the Gaza issue.
Why? I genuinely why revoke the banal resolution that it wasn't even controversial in literally any sense of the word whatsoever, just so you could do a task force on this because some people were unhappy maybe that didn't support Israel enough. Who are the people that are upset about this representing?
I think you put this on Twitter, but like task force should be a banned word.
It should.
You shouldn't be able to put together a task force. No working groups, no task forces.
Because it's like task force, it's like focus group. It's just a thing that these people do to allow them to continue the same fucking thing, but get together and jerk each other off about it.
Yeah, again, I'll remind you, multiple polls have found, even polls from Gallup, like a prestigious polling outfit.
Gallup is not pro-Hamas. Gallup is not on the Hamas payroll.
8% of the party supports Israel's military offensive. 8%.
That's nobody.
There's no need for a task force on this at all.
It's like 8%. That's like a number that you could find of people that would support anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's damn near like an error other than black people and people to judge. But
well, yeah, of course.
Of course, naturally.
That's different. That's an even more polarized issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, like 8% of the party supports what Israel is doing right now, and you can't just pass the arms embargo resolution and recognize Palestine as a state.
Yes.
Like at this moment, you need a task force to figure out what to do on this issue. When your party has been loud and clear about exactly what they want, you need to do a task force and rescind the thing that you actually passed. That was like watered down, but was at least something.
This is why nobody fucks with you. This is why there's such a disconnect between you and the people. This is why people don't want to turn out to vote for you because you can't show moral clarity. And it's not even just that you can't show moral clarity. You can't show that you're willing to represent your base. Where do you think they're going to go then?
Yeah. Like, yeah, sure. AIPAC's going to get mad at you. Any of the other pro-Israel lobbies here in the United States are going to get angry at you. But it's like, I mean, it's either that or just lose your voters, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to take some heat, and they're just unwilling to take some heat on this issue.
In a two-party system, those voters will just go to Trump. Like we saw some voters do in the last election.
Or they'll just tune out.
Yeah.
They'll just tune out completely. During all of this, according to the New York Times, and this is just astonishing to me, quote, Hinari Krishnan, a California DNC member who supported Mr. Martin's version, acknowledged the passionate feelings about the war, but said she hoped, quote, that as a party, we can move beyond this issue.
It's happening right now.
Yeah.
I got to see pictures on my phone all the time of like a missing foot of a fucking emaciated child.
Yep.
It's literally actively happening. What do you mean I want the party to move on from this issue? I'm so sick of Democrats getting out there and saying they understand my passionate feelings about something and admitting that they are not going to do anything about it. I'm so sick of my feelings and just people's feelings in general being seen but not like actually heard.
Yeah.
Because they won't do anything.
Like, I hope we can move past this issue. Could you imagine applying that to literally any other conflict?
Apply that to like the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Like nobody says that about Russia, Ukraine.
I hope we can just move past this issue. It's just too divisive. We should focus on other things like what, I don't know, the Medicaid cuts, I guess.
So fucking stupid,
Like,
man.
we can focus on multiple things.
These people are chronically evil.
Yeah. No,
I swear
bad.
to God, it's insane.
Again, the DNC did pass some like decent resolutions. There was some stuff about opposing ICE. There was some stuff about getting super PAC money out of primaries. Like, I'm not saying that everything they did was bad, but the reason, again, that nobody talks about this stuff, the reason that none of the media covers this stuff is because this isn't what's actively animating the base against the establishment right now. And part of it, I mean, some people are animated by like the fact that so many Democratic politicians can be bought in the same way that Republicans are. And it's good to see that they're getting super PAC money out of primaries, but it doesn't really do away with the issue. And again, it's not like the most contentious thing right now.
Exactly.
So,
and it's like those are issues that extend beyond just like coverage of Democrats and what the DNC wants. Those are issues that are like pervasive. Like going and saying that you don't fuck with ICE, that is something that's like animating people just generally.
Yeah.
You don't need the Democrats to fucking pass a resolution about that. It's an issue that they aren't passing a resolution about the other thing that people agree with. Like you say, it's an issue because the base is in contention with the party.
Yeah, and it's so obvious too. Like it's not like a 60-40 thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like a 30-30-30 where like the middle chunk doesn't know, they haven't made up their feelings. It is damn near as close to unanimous as you can get.
And it's like when the issue has made it to my mom.
Yeah.
I think that there's a meaningful groundswell of
that's the bellwether.
Support against you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the hell? You know, sometimes it just feels like all the news happens on Monday and Tuesday.
It's messed up.
But my favorite podcast drops episode on Wednesdays. I don't know what to do. It feels like they miss all of it.
That's a curse.
If only there was a platform that I could go to where I could listen to these episodes early, maybe when they record them. Do you have any thoughts?
Boy, do I have a solution for you.
Oh, do tell.
If you head over to patreon.com/headintheofficepod, you can listen to Head in the Office episodes before the curse of Monday and Tuesday news comes out.
Really? Do tell.
And you get access to commercial-free episodes. And everybody wants commercial-free episodes.
I bet there's also a whole host of other benefits and community engagement that they offer.
And friendship.
Very true.
Who
and
doesn't
that's
want friendship?
The most important thing.
Absolutely.
In times like this.
Back to the episode. I don't understand, man. It's the APAC money.
It's the APAC money. It's the APAC money, and it is a wicked amount of money that they're getting that they seem to just can't ignore. And I think that'll transition us to talking about who's been dubbed APAC's strongest warrior, Ritchie Torres. And
he doesn't accept that title.
He doesn't accept that title, but that's the title that's been given to him. And I just want to play a clip from the Adam Friedland show interview with Ritchie Torres that I think kind of summarizes the Israel segment on the issue. I highly suggest you go and watch it because it's genuinely like a phenomenal interview, and I think it does do a lot to expose the rot that has captured a lot of Democratic politicians. So with that, why don't we just roll this clip and see what Ritchie Torres has to say about casualties of the war.
Hamas murdered thousands of people.
So what does that mean?
That Hamas is a terrorist organization for murdering innocent children and civilians.
How many civilians have been killed in this war?
The war is a tragedy.
90% of them have been civilians. They've killed journalists.
People have been killed in a war. It's been a tragedy.
They've killed people waiting for aid.
But you're suggesting that it is the policy of the Israeli government to murder civilians, and that is a notion that I reject.
You gotta listen, man. You gotta be like a human being about this.
People who are dying in the war, which to me is a tragedy, because war is a tragedy.
Do you feel in your heart that this is what you're saying is right?
If you remove Hamas...
You don't actually think that.
I told you what I believe. Don't tell me what I believe. I've told you what I believe.
Why would you believe that?
Because there are people who see the world differently. I know it's a shock to you, but there are people who see the world differently from you.
When the death toll, when 83% of the people that have been killed in a conflict are civilians, I think it's clear that the IDF is killing civilians and just so happens to also kill Hamas guys sometimes.
It's a worse ratio than the Axis.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's a worse ratio than the fire bombings of Dresden, something that's notorious for civilian casualties.
Like a worse ratio than like the evil guys in World War II?
The objectively evil ones that
Yeah.
nobody contends with them being evil for. Why are you doing this to like defend them? Like and that 83% number once again is a number that is an underestimate because we still have no idea how many people are trapped under rubble and how many people that have gone missing that are dead. Yet we still have dudes like Ritchie Torres getting out here and defending an active genocide.
It's 83% according to internal numbers at the IDF.
From the IDF.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Based on the Gaza Health Ministry numbers that the IDF accepts as true and did an independent investigation to see is true. And it's like, why are American congresspeople so willing to burn their dignity at the behest of some foreign government? It cost us nothing to stop giving my tax dollars to Israel.
Yeah.
Because it's my tax dollars that are going to fund this. It is billions of dollars that we're giving them to fucking kill people. 83% of the people they kill being civilians.
Yeah, there was one point when Adam Friedland was like, yeah, we sent like 25 billion in the last year or something like that. And Ritchie Torres was like, but out of $7 trillion that the government spends every year, that's like less than 1%.
That's a lot of money.
It's like, well, yeah, first of all, you're saying that's not a lot of money. Ritchie Torres, you represent the poorest district in the country.
And he kept bringing that up as like something, like whenever he'd get pressed about being AIPAC's strongest soldier, he's like, well, you know, my voters, they don't vote on AIPAC. Motherfucker, you do?
Yeah, well, nobody votes on AIPAC.
Exactly.
Nobody you take their money.
It's like AIPAC is a vehicle for these people to just like get power. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if they were to stop sending our tax dollars to Israel, it would cost these Congress people their seats when AIPAC is willing to spend $1 billion for anybody who's willing to sell their shame.
Well, as we saw with Jamal Bowman and the person who challenged Cori Bush, right? Like they dropped what was it, like $14 million
on a house seat
on Jamal Bowman's head. I think it was the most expensive house race in history, or one of the most expensive. That's crazy.
It's insane.
And the only reason that happened to Jamal Bowman, that happened to Cori Bush, is because they didn't support Israel. And the only reason, again, that Hakeem Jeffries hasn't endorsed Zoran Mamdani is because he doesn't support Israel. And that's insane.
What does that have to do with Cory Booker's ability to like represent the people in his district? Whether or not somebody wants an arms embargo on Israel has nothing to do with whether they like represent the material needs of the people in their district. Yeah. We do so much at the behest of what is functionally a foreign lobby. It's insane. Ritchie Torres in the 2023-2024 cycle received over $500,000 from AIPAC, making them his top donor. And by industry, the category pro-Israel was his second highest contributor at like $1 million.
Yeah.
We have an epidemic of house people who will burn their own morality to gain power that they refuse to use or wield in any like meaningful capacity.
Yeah, and it seems like Ritchie Torres rejects this idea that the people who fund your campaigns can influence you once you're in office. Like he just doesn't think that's a thing.
Well, because he got pressed about receiving what, $61,000 from BlackRock?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Adam Friedland asked him at one point, like, you've received X amount of money from BlackRock. That's like the group causing the housing crisis.
After Ritchie Torres spent 30 minutes of the interview talking about how he's like pro-housing, housing is his issue, he wants to fund public housing.
Yeah, and he was like, why don't you just like send that money back? And Ritchie Torres' answer was, I am not accountable for every donation I get. How are you not accountable for every donation that you get?
Exactly.
Like I know that you have a spreadsheet. You can just Control F and find them and send the money back.
And it's like when they're giving you like $50,000 or $60,000, whatever that number is, that's not even like that much money compared to how much cash on hand Ritchie Torres has.
Yeah.
He's got like he's got a good amount of money cash on hand. When I was checking Open Secrets earlier, you could send that $50,000 back and it wouldn't hurt you. In fact, I would argue that if you are priding yourself on representing, what is it, the poorest district in the country or poorest district in the state?
Yeah.
One of the poorest districts in the country, and talking about housing being your thing and having the genuine like crazy backstory that he has, it would help you more to throw that $50,000-$60,000 back to BlackRock and say that you won't accept money from people like that who are making the housing crisis worse.
Yeah, but instead he rejects this notion at all that politicians can be influenced by the money they receive in their campaign.
Yes.
Which is just like, on the face, it's not believable. I can't believe that's his excuse.
And it's like, it's crazy because these people, like, it goes beyond just like Israel in this, because it's like the only time they will wield this power that they took dark money for to get is when it's defending the status quo. Mm-hmm. Because that's what keeps their donors' pockets lined. Yeah. That's what keeps fucking BlackRock and AIPAC and everybody happy.
Yeah, and
but
like,
it doesn't matter to me.
When he's lightly pressed on this by Adam Friedland, his response is like, "I'll take you on a tour of my district."
Insane.
Like, is that a threat?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Yeah. He's saying like, you received money from BlackRock. That's a problematic. There's a conflict of interest there. Why did you do it? And he says, I'll take you on a tour of my district. What the fuck?
Oh, it doesn't matter who I get money from. It does matter a lot, actually, who you get money from. I understand that groups like Home Depot and BlackRock maybe go and donate to every candidate across the aisle. But do you know why they donate to every candidate across the aisle?
Access.
It's so that they can get their name in there. It's so that they can say, like, hey, I gave you $2,000. Like, come listen to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because $2,000, like, it's a good amount of money.
Like, it is important for politicians to take a moral stand on the people that they get money from. Even if it's just like the employees of BlackRock. Like, yeah, you should reject that because of where their money comes from.
Yes.
And that's not a crazy thing to say.
It's like because there's an implicit bias there. There's a psychological thing that happens when you're getting a significant chunk of money from people that it's like, okay, I don't really want to piss this off because what if I'm tight on cash and need to approach them for more money?
Yeah, yeah. And this idea that like, oh, I decide the issues on the merits, it has nothing to do with the money I get is absurd because you wouldn't be getting money from them if you actually opposed them in their financial interests.
Exactly.
Which is what you would have to do if you wanted to do something like solve the housing crisis, which he hasn't done.
What do you mean I address issues on the merits? What are the merits of taking money from BlackRock? I'd argue there are none.
You don't address the issues on the merits because you fuck with Israel. Like, we know that that's not true.
Exactly. You cannot have moral clarity. It's like he's talking about this public housing thing throughout the whole interview, and I'm like, damn, did I think like worse of Ritchie Torres than he actually is? And then he goes and does this and just blows it all up, and it's like, okay, it's just a veneer.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this then? Why are you just a mouthpiece? Because most of our Congress people aren't real fucking people. They're just mouthpieces for whoever's willing to bankroll their next campaign.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. They are mouthpieces for the people who are willing to get them into the room where it happens just so they can be in the room and not actually do anything.
And we know that's true because Adam asked him, why do you fuck with Israel so much? Like, what was the moment? And Ritchie Torres said, I got a free trip to Israel and it opened my eyes. Like,
brother,
you got a free trip, and like that is what explains you taking $500,000 from AIPAC.
They're your top donor.
That's crazy.
Like what the hell? Like, and it's like he has to say that because he has to try and come up with some fucking reason why he would fuck with Israel so heavily. Yeah. But it all reads as so disingenuous because it is. Mm-hmm. It is. He's nobody. He gets money from AIPAC. AIPAC are the people that give him the opportunity to say that he has power, and so he'll do whatever to keep that power. Mm-hmm. Because some people are just fucking psychopaths, and it's so crazy to see people burn their dignity, burn their morality, so that they get into Congress, and then they have to give Israel $10 billion just so they have the opportunity to go and put $10,000 in some omnibus bill for their district.
Yeah. It's so unlikely that you'll take these literally hundreds of thousands of dollars from these different lobbying groups, and then once you get to Congress, you won't represent them instead of your people.
Yeah.
Like, what reason, what incentive, financial or political, would you have to support your people and do things for your people if you're getting literally, again, $500,000 from an Israel lobby?
And it's like, who wins from this deal?
Yeah.
It's not even like the Congress people. The Congress people win in the sense that they get power. And for some people, that's all they fucking want because they're crazy.
I think that's Ritchie Torres moot court. You know what I mean?
Exactly, 100%, right? But I'm certainly not winning as a constituent of people like, I don't know, fucking like Alyssa Slotkin, as like a lot of people. The only people that really substantively gain from this are the corporations. It's the super PACs. It's the interests, the donors. Like, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I don't like it.
I don't like it one bit.
Yeah, I did like how Adam would just at some points be like, shut up, man.
Yeah, no, that's gas. It's so sick to just tell a congressperson to shut up.
And I could tell it was difficult to do that for Adam.
For
Friedland.
sure.
Like, he was struggling because he was talking about like a very traumatic experience like he's had growing up, having been taught to be a Zionist and then like learning his way out of it and seeing a country that claims to represent all Jewish people do something so terrible, right? Like, it's clearly a difficult experience for him.
For sure.
And for Ritchie Torres to just be like, nah.
No, literally, and then go, you don't know what you're talking about? Brother, he like kind of lived it.
Yeah.
He told you about his experience being in Israel and seeing the West Bank and seeing the difference in how people live and how that was harrowing and how that's informed his politics now. And Ritchie goes, you don't know what you're talking about? Mm-hmm. $500,000 does a lot to a motherfucker, man.
It does a lot.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you could tell in the interview, Adam just wanted to like talk to the guy.
Yeah.
He tried to give him so many layups in the beginning until Ritchie Torres first brought up October 7th, and then they had to get into it. And Ritchie Torres just can't be a fucking human about the issue.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
And these people really do think that like history began on October 7th.
Yeah.
There was no other underlying causes beforehand.
Well, then he brought up the thing that happened in 29? The something massacre where like 1,000 Jews were killed.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, the Nakba, dog.
Yeah.
Like, Palestinians were also killed. It's like history only exists to like guys like that when they can use it as a way to further the narrative that they were paid to push.
Yeah, and it's just like, obviously Jewish people have been the scapegoat for like everything for thousands of years.
Yes.
Right? It's a major problem. Anti-Semitism is still a problem today, but that doesn't mean that you can just like take all your anger out on the Palestinian people.
Yes.
Like, and again, the founding idea idea of the Zionist project, a land without people for a people without a land, there were people on the land.
It was a false notion.
Like, and there were Jewish people on the land too, yes. Right? Like it was already a thing. Sure, it wasn't like an internationally recognized community, but that is not the definition we should use for if people deserve to like exist and live and not be displaced forcibly through colonial measures. It's just, I don't know, man. Ritchie Torres is not a fucking real person.
Not at all, dude. He talks like a robot too. Yeah. He's not funny. And then when Adam said, "You sound like you hang out with old people when you were younger," he does. He clocked his dumb ass.
Shout out to the Adam Friedland show, man. That was a public service.
It really was.
There's real utility in that.
It's genuinely cathartic, and it's like this was cathartic in. Not in the same way that Alyssa Slotkin was, because that's my representative. I've hated her for a while.
God damn, dude, that was good.
I'm responsible for like more people not liking Alyssa Slotkin. I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? So that was personal vindication. But it was so nice to see somebody for like upwards of 30 minutes just be told that they're not a fucking person. That they can't contend with this on a human level because they've been paid not to.
Yeah.
And just blow the lid off the whole operation.
Yeah, and I've seen some discourse that's like, why are we platforming Ritchie Torres?
Dog, he's a congressperson.
Well, he's a congressperson, but like Adam Friedland gets more of an audience than Ritchie Torres does, right?
That's true.
But there is no reality in which you watch that and you think, oh, Ritchie Torres looks good here.
Yeah, literally.
Like it's like an anti-platform. You know? Like he makes him look very bad. If he had just like let Ritchie Torres talk and didn't push back at all, then I would say, yeah, why are we platforming him?
And it's like,
but that's not what happened.
The DNC sent Richie Torres to Dearborn, right?
To Dearborn,
with
man.
Bill Clinton to lecture Muslim voters about why Israel's cool. Like, come on, man.
Like they went to Dearborn before the election. Wasn't it like October? And they said shit like they just went there to say like, I'm going to let your family die, and you're going to be fine with it. Vote for the Democrat. Like, I'm sorry, but Trump is bad, but you can't. That's not how you do things, man.
I hope Kamala Harris mentions that in her fuck ass book that's coming out.
Man. Soon. I'm so excited for it, man.
Yes.
This is gonna be the quickest read I've had in a long time. Anyways, I think that closes out the section on the DNC flops and the Ritchie Torres stuff. The congregation is missing someone, and that someone, dear listener, is you. The congregation awaits you over on our Discord. If you go into the description of this episode right now, there will be a link to join the Head in the Office Discord where you will find more than 1,000 like-minded individuals for you to interact with. And maybe most importantly, we'll be there.
1,000 members strong. It is a burgeoning community of Hiddo-heads.
That's right.
Ready to receive you into their arms. Make you a part of the community. Vest you as a Hiddo-head.
Over on Discord, we have discussions. You can interact with other Hiddo-heads. And maybe, for some fun, we can do some community events. And we know that you want to be a part of that. Only available over on the official Head in the Office Discord.
Yes, but that doesn't close out our section on forcible displacement.
We got to talk about forcible displacement. That's right. And I think you mean in terms of firing people?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I was trying to connect the thread there. So there were two major financial moves from the Trump administration this past week that we should touch on briefly, because apparently Trump's doing communism.
He is.
Comrade Trump.
The MAGA Communists, they were right. What is it, like Jimmy Dore or some shit?
Before we get into the communism, though, first, Trump, without any authority, fired the one of the Federal Reserve governors, Lisa Cook. If you don't know, the governors of the Federal Reserve essentially make up like the committee that votes yes or no on raising interest rates.
Valid.
And Trump wants his interest rates lowered, obviously, so he's been going after Jerome Powell, but then there's 7 other people you got to contend with that like actually do the voting, and so now he's gone after one of the 7 that probably would not vote to lower interest rates in this environment.
He's very clearly testing the waters to get rid of Jerome Powell here.
Yes.
Because like he can't just come out and say, Jerome Powell, you're fired. There's way too much publicity beyond there. But if he can fire Lisa Cook, if he can fire one of the Fed governors and somehow get away with it, that really does open the door for him just to be able to get rid of anybody he wants, no matter where, no matter how independent a agency is.
Yeah, and the claim here is that Lisa Cook is being fired with cause for quote-unquote falsifying records to obtain a mortgage. Nobody knows if this is like a real thing.
Yeah.
We've been provided no documentation. There's even question if like he can fire her at all. But like law doesn't matter anymore. And he did just say it. And if people acquiesce, then like that's law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. So not sure what's going to happen here. Also worth noting that she was appointed by Biden in 2022. She was the first black woman to serve in this role. I would submit to you that is not a coincidence that she's the first one Trump went after on the board of governors.
Kind of interesting.
Feels probably targeted, I would say,
a little bit,
for a guy like Trump. But yeah, not good.
Not good at all. Not good at all. That's scary. And if he gets away with it, that's really scary.
Yeah. Interest rate 0% when?
0% interest rates. Give me money. I can go to the bank and say, "Give me money." I can loan. It's fucked up.
0% interest rate. That's free money.
That's free money you can just borrow.
Yeah, you can just take that. That's free money.
I'll be taking money like crazy, and I'll be never giving it back.
And usury is a sin. So I mean, this is the Christ-like thing to do.
This should be the standard, frankly.
Yeah. So that's the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell counter days. But secondly, in another financial move, the Trump administration revealed that it has acquired a 10% stake in Intel by converting $11.1 billion of federal funding into equity in the company.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this has been decried as communist.
Can you do that?
Well, he did it.
Type shit. There's no reason to ask. Can you do anything?
The interesting part about the story to me is that this is taxpayer money that came from the CHIPS Act that was earmarked for semiconductor manufacturing that he just sort of converted into equity.
I'm not even gonna ask.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna ask.
Yeah, I don't know what like the legal circumstances are like supposed to be.
Yeah,
obviously the law doesn't matter, right?
But it's like funds that are earmarked from Congress are very specifically earmarked to have to go to specific things.
Yeah, well, I mean, but this money was going to Intel anyways, right? Because Intel was gonna increase their semiconductor manufacturing here in the United States. So instead of giving this money that was like earmarked for a specific purpose, now Intel just gets a cash infusion and an artificial bump to their stock price. Like that's what this is, right? Like there's no more strings attached to the money. They just get the money for free.
They don't have to use it to boost manufacturing or do anything really.
Yeah. The administration has argued that this will stimulate growth, of course, and pay some dividends to the government because now we have 10% equity in Intel. The clear counter argument that most people have been advancing is what happened to the free market? What happened to free market economics? Nobody really cares, I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
People across the board, though, have decried this move as communism. And to that I say, shut the fuck up, man.
It's just like...
You're so annoying.
It's so just not. Like, sure, I guess it speaks to a colloquial understanding of how people think about communism because nobody has any idea what anything is anymore. But like that shouldn't be the standard.
Yeah.
People should know.
It's like communism is not when the government gives a free handout to a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah.
Like that's not communism, man.
Because it's like it's not even like we nationalized Intel. We didn't nationalize Intel. We didn't make it so that all of the manufacturing that happens under Intel is now a government service and now there's no more profit and we own it and it's directed by a fucking independent agency, executive agency now.
Yeah.
It's just we're going to give you money.
Yeah. We're
going to give you taxpayer money
and that's
in your stock. This is not how it's been earmarked.
Yeah, this has been like legitimate discourse. And I've seen people across the board, like liberals and Republicans, just saying shit like this is actual communism.
Nobody wants to talk about anything that's real.
No, well, and it's not real. It's not communism, obviously. And we'll drop some knowledge real quick. Communism is an economic system wherein class distinctions are abolished through collective ownership of the means of production, and then production is geared towards serving human needs rather than being conducted for the sake of profit. That's what communism is.
Yeah.
So tell me, does that sound anything like Trump buying a 10% stake in Intel?
Well, you're not understanding. Communism is when government does things.
Of course.
That's how so many people genuinely think about these things. Communism is when government does things, and capitalism is when I make money.
Yeah. Well, capitalism is when good. Communism is when bad.
Exactly. Communism is when all the bad thing happens.
Like it's just state capitalism shit. And knowing Trump, it probably comes with strings attached, like no more DEI policies, or you got to make sure your AI like isn't woke or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's probably what the strings are here in this 10% bump.
You got to make sure your AI lies about history and hates black people.
And the broader issue to me is like decrying this as socialism is not going to endear anybody to the left when we eventually regain power and try to do like literally anything with the government. Like this just makes the rhetorical environment so much worse to use the wrong words to label this shit.
But I mean, like that is kind of what a lot of people want. A lot of people desperately just like, people love to throw the socialist accusation around, and I guess finally, like the worst liberals have found a way that they can throw it at Trump and just take advantage of years of Red Scare propaganda that no one's actually properly unpacked.
It's just like, this is explicitly like late stage capitalism shit. We have an AI investment ecosystem that the bottom is being held up by the US government. and we're calling this communism.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Like all of this is capitalism issues through capitalism.
Yeah.
And we're calling it communism.
And it's like the government just like, it's not even a controlling stake. Like it's
No.
like a 10% stake. Maybe they get to sit in on meetings. Maybe somebody gets to sit in on meetings, but it's like, I don't even have like too much of a problem with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
well,
under a decent administration, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I don't have a problem with the government investing in a company to eventually make it like a public good. That's in fact what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's explicitly what I want for shit like this. But like, it's just,
But not like
I don't
how
know,
Trump's
man.
doing it.
The fucking discourse is so fucked right now.
And it's like, I know Trump's going to do it badly.
And the problem with this move specifically, again, is that it uses CHIPS Act funding to just give an artificial bump to Intel stock price.
Oh yeah, to make his friends a lot of money.
Yeah, and like again, that's just capitalism, man.
Yeah.
Like the state intervening in the economy at the behest of the capitalists, that is just capitalism. Capitalism doesn't exist without a state, brother. It needs the state to function and the state to act at its behest to ensure that, again, the bottom doesn't fall out of these industries, and that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Seems kind of silly. I will say, though, to do some hypocrisy politics,
I love hypocrisy politics.
They would call Biden Stalin if he did this.
Oh, 100%.
Like, we would not have heard the end of it.
They would have called Biden Stalin if he did this, but like I'd be like, wait, guys, there's Loki. That could be kind of cool, maybe, depending on what he wants to do.
Yeah. And nobody knows what communism is, and I don't like to be that guy, but like, crack open a book. Just read it.
Or just a Wikipedia summary.
Yeah, Wikipedia summary is
Maybe
fine
a video essay as well.
Like just look it up and you will find that collective ownership of the means of production and the abolition of private property is not 10% stock in Intel.
It's just communism is not when the government does things.
Yeah.
Communism is not when the government buys company. Then you like, are subsidies not communism then at that point? Is the government doing anything when it comes to business not then communism at that point?
Yeah.
It's not like we have a fucking command economy just because they bought a 10% stake in Intel.
And like we could think about this critically, right? Like if the government did just like buy all of Intel or just stole, like just seized it all, right?
Yeah.
And then ran the company the same and still extracted profit, we wouldn't call that communism. We'd call it state capitalism.
Yes.
Because in that case, the state is just taking the form of the capitalist and extracting profit in the same way.
Instead of a group of shareholders making a fuck ton of money, it's just the government instead.
Yeah, it's just the government and the people that are like running that aspect of the bureaucracy. And that is also bad. That is also not what Marx wanted.
Yeah.
Like, we got to think a little bit, people. We got to think a little bit. But that's communism. That's financial news from your favorite financial
your
podcast.
favorite financial podcast. Number one Wall Street news guys over here.
Number one money podcast.
Number one money. Oh,
big money, big cash podcast.
Big cash podcast. Lots of cash on hand at this podcast right here.
Absolutely.
Now. But I guess switching gears, we got to talk about Kilmar Abrego Garcia because it's a story that we haven't talked too much about. And I guess the last couple months since things are really popping off. But I want to start with just kind of a overview of what's going on, and then just a quick bit about why it's crazy, because it's genuinely crazy. But we all remember when he was like unjustly and just illegally sent to El Salvador. Once again, illegally. I feel like a fool even bringing that up.
Yeah, but that's against the law.
But that's against the law. But rules and procedure, I feel like a Democrat. Like, you can't do that. I feel like Ritchie Torres. You know what I'm saying?
Covenant without the sword are but words. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
As Thomas
then,
Hobbes said.
Fucking back to the Ritchie Torres interview when he
gotta keep going back to it.
It's gonna live in my head for a while. And Adam's like, run through like if you met Trump, and he's like, he just stands there.
Dude,
like, dog, you're corny.
He's not and like Adam asks him, like, what's your coming out story? I didn't even know Ritchie Torres was gay, by the way.
Neither did I.
But like, what's your coming out story? And like, he just like wouldn't share any vulnerable piece of himself.
And it's like fine if you're like kind of uncomfortable with the thing, but that's not what he was like. He just like, he's a robot.
But like, you're a politician, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have a story for like every aspect of your life.
And it's like he's a corny guy.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to. It was kind of funny seeing him want to throw zingers at George Santos, but it like wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
Like he could have said something else that would have endeared myself to him, but he didn't. Once again, Democrats funneling the bag and not catching a vibe. But once again, Kilmar Abrego Garcia got fucking kidnapped and sent to torture camp in El Salvador. We all knew that. We covered that extensively. Yep. That was a crazy situation. Everybody wanted him back. Federal court said you got to bring him back. Even the Supreme Court said you got to bring this guy back. Trump said, I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. They had Bukele come over here, and he's like, oh, we can't do it. Why would I let like a terrorist out or some shit?
And then Stephen Miller was like, under no circumstance will we allow him back into the country.
And then like 2 weeks later, he came back into the country. And then they brought him back to the country like kind of in secret and hit him with fake charges.
Yep.
They hit him with like human trafficking, sex smuggling charges, blah, 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 whatever. They threw the book at this fucker. As soon as he gets back, they throw him in prison in Tennessee and like pre-trial detention, maybe. Either way, he was incarcerated.
Well, because he's a dangerous terrorist.
Well, of course, he can't be let out on the street. No bond. No cash bail. This isn't a Democrat-run city.
Yeah, wasn't the accusation that like he would drive to the border of Texas and then like drive back up to Maryland with dudes in his truck?
What it's based on is this one instance where he got pulled over in Tennessee and he had like 9 guys in his car and like $1,400. And the cops were like, maybe this is a human trafficking thing, but they didn't do anything about it, and they gave him a warning and let him go.
$1,400? Like that? We're splitting hairs over $1,400 and a couple of dudes?
No, literally.
Like I
that sounds like a party to me.
Yeah.
How do you know they went out for a nice night on the town?
Exactly. You don't know.
You don't know anything, and you kind of need to do an investigation before you launch wicked accusations like that at somebody. But either way, he's been in detention up until now, and this week he was let out of detention in Tennessee. He was let out of just being held in prison for no fucking reason at all, and immediately got brought into ICE detention.
Of course.
And now they're trying to send his ass to Uganda.
Why? Why Uganda?
I don't know. It's just they desperately want to get his ass out of here, and I think SCOTUS said that they can do third country deportations now.
Yeah, they did.
Which shouldn't be a thing.
But like, why Uganda though?
Because they take him. But it's funny because in Uganda's like agreement with the United States to take people, it said they won't take somebody that has a criminal record. And it's like, you're alleging that this guy's a fucking terrorist. Yeah. I think Pam Bondi said at a press conference that wicked terrorist will never walk the streets of the United States again or some shit. And it's like, you're insane.
Jesus Christ.
You are fucking
Their obsession with this
crazy.
One guy is crazy.
And it's like, this is what weaponization of the Justice Department looks like.
Yeah.
For all of the shit that conservatives were saying just for years about Joe Biden going against his political opponents, this is what that is. And this is what the fascist has to do. The president has got involved with just making some guy's life personally miserable because he made a mistake and now he can't admit that mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does not get more absurd than that. Donald Trump has weaponized the entire United States. He has taken the might of the strongest country in the world and pushed it all onto one fellow.
One guy.
Because he couldn't admit that he made a mistake, because if he admits that he made a mistake, then maybe it blows the lid off his whole mass deportation effort.
Yeah, and it would, right? Like, if he said, like, oh, yeah, I mistakenly sent this guy to a torture camp, then it would call into question literally everything.
It's like, how does that happen?
And like the Trump motto is never admit when you're wrong. Like he has said that on the record. And it was in the Trump movie.
And it's crazy because it's like that's how it would go. But it's like the mass deportation effort is already so wicked in of itself that people are already kind of there.
Yeah.
But the fascists can't understand that because they think they have to just like do the strong thing. You can't admit a mistake because then you'd be perceived as weak, and they can't ever have anybody perceive them as weak. So they need to be the strongest possible 100% of the time in every single circumstance.
Yeah.
And it gets us to places like this.
I mean, he did just say like a few days ago that maybe people want a dictator.
Oh my God, I know.
But it's like I see a clip like that, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Exactly, it's beyond parody.
Like I can't play that on my show and be like, guys, oh my God, look what he said. Like we know.
Exactly.
Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
I can't be Aaron Parnas about it and do the fucking Google News alerts on TikTok because it's almost beyond commentary.
There's just nothing to say.
It's everything that I've been saying up until now. I can't add anything further to it. I'd have to go through wicked fucking gymnastics to come up with something else.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know if this is how how corny Nazis were in the past or other fascists were in the past, but he's like, I don't know, guys, maybe they want a dictator.
It's like he's like a half step.
Yeah, like Reddit occupied government.
He's just kind of half doing everything. Same thing with, not that I want him to full do anything. No. I really don't want him to full do anything. I want him to 0% at all. But like, even with the ICE shit, too. They took our advice. Did you see ICE guys in fucking high-vis vests picking up trash in D.C.? Or not ICE guys, National Guard. The National Guard in D.C. is picking up trash.
They turned it into a jobs program.
It's like, that's kind of sick, actually. I would like that under a different context.
Well, they got nothing better to do.
Exactly.
Because there's no other crime dropped to 0.
According to Stephen Miller, there's been 0 homicides in D.C. in the last 2 weeks, which it's like hard to believe.
Yeah.
This is the same thing as there are 0 illegal immigrants that have crossed the border since Trump started doing shit. Like, since Kristi Noem painted the border wall black.
You send in National Guard and crime immediately drops to 0. Like, okay.
Come on.
It's just not even believable.
Yeah. It's a bit silly. And this administration is a bit silly and very fash.
Very fash, not good. And I hope Kilmar Abrego Garcia can find his way out of the ire of the federal government.
No, literally.
Because it's crazy out here. I guess that brings us to the extras.
That does bring us to the extra.
The only extra I have today is another fucking tragic school shooting.
Yeah.
What is there to say?
That's kind of my take on the whole situation too. I feel like it's hard to talk about like school shootings and mass shootings now because it's like Republicans won't let gun control happen, and gun control is so obviously the problem. But now every time there's a mass shooting, conservatives say it's a trans person.
Yep.
I don't think anything has come out about this person's gender identity, but it's a person with long hair and they're like trans.
Yeah, no, I've seen some things that people are claiming like this person is actually trans. I don't know. Like there's tons of accusations out there. I do know for a fact that they were like on far right areas of the internet. That is just like proven. Their profiles are public.
The whole fucking thing is just like weird. Like he's just obviously just a weird fucking person. Bad person.
Yeah, mentally disturbed person is the only kind of person that can do this shit.
Exactly. And mentally disturbed people like that should not have access to guns.
Yeah.
Just like point blank, it should be a little bit harder to get guns. But in the same way that no Democrat can, I don't know, say that what's happening in Gaza is bad. No Republican can say that we need gun control because then they'd lose so much money from the NRA.
Yeah.
And they'd get a worse NRA report card.
Yeah, I know people have been saying this since like Sandy Hook, but for me it was Uvalde. Like if we can let Uvalde go by without any substantive gun reform, then like I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Yeah. And this is just an issue that like the Republican Party just stands in the way because they get so much goddamn money from the NRA.
It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Thoughts and prayers.
It's like you see conservative commentators going out and like, oh, a lot of trans people now, this has got to be a problem. And it's like, no,
the vast majority of mass shootings are white dudes.
There's been like 5 mass shooters that are trans. I've been seeing the chart because everybody's been posting it, and like a lot of white guys. A lot of just cis white guys that are doing these things. And trans people can be bad too. Trans people can be mentally disturbed. It has nothing to do with them being trans.
Exactly. Let's not generalize.
I think that every group is capable of evil.
There was I don't know if this was like etched onto a gun or if this was like a social media post or whatever, but somewhere this person had said like kill Trump.
Yeah, it was etched on the gun.
And to me that confirms they're a Republican.
Because, well, I mean, that's what every person who's tried to kill Trump has been.
When Republicans get bored, it's dangerous.
Exactly. That's fucked up. But there is another facet of the story that I did want to take some time to talk about, because it's like, yes, there's only so much that you can say now after nothing happened after Uvalde about mass shootings and where we are with gun control in this country. But never count out a conservative's ability to potentially profit off of a situation decide they want to do the most evil thing. And so for this, I have a clip from Fox News. I don't know who this guy is, but boy, did he drop a banger right here. Why don't we just roll that?
Correct. I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Would it have picked up on this, do you think?
100%. I wish my program would already be up. We're not launching until next week. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
Guys, we are manipulating your fear.
Yeah, I could have gone D1 too if I would have just worked a little bit harder. Yeah, no, you can fucking say anything after the fact with hindsight too, but it's like, what do you mean Israeli grade ontology? Well, I don't think you know what those words mean.
Hearing that like this was probably a tech that Israel used immediately is a red flag.
And I was gonna say, it's like you're flexing an Israeli grade tech. Israeli grade AI is famous for just shooting civilians.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think that's something you want to flex. It's like instead of being able to have a conversation about just stopping people from being able to buy a gun super easily, just instead of restricting people's ability to just go to the store and get a gun on a whim, instead conservatives have conversations about we need to do mass surveillance. That's where it is.
Guys, we're doing Minority Report.
I think it is more taking my rights away to make every action that I do constantly analyzed by law enforcement and there's never a private moment that I can have than making it like a little bit harder for me to impulse buy a gun.
Yeah, maybe regulating the purchase of guns would be less of an infringement on our freedoms than being surveilled nonstop by an AI that we can't trust.
But it's like conservatives, love surveillance.
Oh my God,
They love the surveillance state. They love the Patriot Act. They love selling your right to privacy away.
The Kids on Life Safety Act just passed.
Exactly.
Like it passed the House of Representatives, I think, before they left.
It's like, and it's kind of funny that he mentions that, like, yeah, the technology could have pinged this and sent this to law enforcement, because, like, famously, law enforcement does pin these things, but they can't do anything about it. The Parkland shooter, correct me if I'm wrong, but was he not known to the FBI to be a red flag?
Many of those guys are.
But they couldn't execute on that because gun laws aren't strict enough and they're not enforced.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, we know when somebody is going to be a mass shooter. We know when red flags have triggered, but there aren't laws in place to actually, like, go after them and stop them from purchasing these weapons.
The one issue that law enforcement are kind of right on is like, hey guys, we need stricter gun laws so we can do something about it, and so less people get shot.
Yeah,
like,
and less officers get shot.
And it's purely out of a sense of self-preservation for those guys. Like they are thinking of themselves, but they happen to be right.
But it's like, if there's no gun control, if there are no gun laws that you can execute on, how is your AI going to do anything meaningful when it comes to this?
Yeah.
The FBI just knew about these shooters.
This happens in no other country.
Yeah.
There's only one variable that explains it, and it's the amount of guns we have.
It's the amount of freedom we have to not be surveilled.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Of course. It's all the freedoms we have.
Yes.
And that's what makes this country so much better.
That's what makes this country great, is the
they hate us for our freedom.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up, and I don't fuck with it not one bit.
Not even a little. Not even a little. But I think that brings us to the end of our little episode here, which means, of course, that we have to read our 5-star reviews on Apple of our most recent episode. Oh my God, on Spotify.
Of the most recent episode, very important.
Most recent episode, the one that we dropped on Monday, or I guess on Wednesday for the Wednesday weenies, Monday for the listeners, the Monday mandates.
Yep.
But this week, we got to read for this episode, we got to read these reviews from the last episode.
Yes.
So make sure if you want yours read next week, you leave it on this episode.
We'll get it figured out sometime. So will you.
Does this make sense? It's a puzzle.
I've dropped a riddle.
The first one on Spotify, 5 out of 5 stars from Trustful Place. Firstly, I condemn all things that must be condemned. Nice. This podcast had me being mean to my local California establishment hellhole Democratic representative, asking her hard questions. The way her face dropped when I personally often mistakenly give a children's menu get given a children's menu, I guess. Pointed out why nothing she said made sense, and also the DNC strategy meeting she attended sounded like it was useless, will fuel me forever. Yes. Thanks for teaching me how to hold my representative accountable, boys.
And we love that. Democrats once again proving that they suck and can't do anything.
So true.
So true. This next one from Mukes, 100,000 Quebec stars out of 5. I've been a patron for the better part of a year, and I can easily say it was the best investment I've made this entire year. My ability to catch a vibe has grown astronomically since I started listening to the 2 quirked up white boys 2 years ago. As my primary news source, the fellas have helped me understand American politics better and gave me better tools to debate right-wing troglodytes. Keep up the good work, and I'm excited to have an episode drop on my birthday. I also conned.
Damn, they couldn't get it in there.
Type shit. That's fucked up. Well, happy birthday whenever that episode drops, if it is today.
Next one from Dalt, 5 out of 5. Gotta condemn Hamas and all forms of political violence. I'm not a patron because I don't have a ton of discretionary spending, but I still look forward to Wednesday and Friday episodes. Thank you for standing up for marginalized groups and keep the episodes coming.
You know, Ritchie Torres said that $25 billion isn't a lot. So realistically, like, how much is the $3?
How much is $3?
How much is $3? $25 billion isn't a lot. If it's just like nothing to send $25 billion to Israel,
it's a drop in the bucket. Who cares?
Then surely it's nothing to subscribe to the I can't even finish it. I feel evil. I feel evil saying that, pretending to be that man. This next one from Jacob K, 5 out of 5. I left a review on Apple about a year ago, but since graduating college a few months back, and thanks to my newfound but soon to be brutally extinguished grace period wealth, I can finally afford my first Patreon subscription. Thank you both for the consistent laughs and good takes. I condemn Hamas and all forms of Epstein list denial.
So true. Last one from U-Haul Lesbian, 5 out of 5. Obviously here to condemn Hamas and all political violence. Haven't watched this episode yet, but I know it's going to be full of the best takes. Heavy on that.
Yep.
That was them that said that, by the way.
Classic.
Not me. Also seen a lot of liberals not letting us criticize Gavin Newsom literally years out from the primary and election, which I find cult-like. Anyways, keep up the good work from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, man, the liberals and leftists just can't get along on TikTok right now, it seems. And I mean, realistically, these two groups are opposed, so it's like they shouldn't get along. But it has been particularly fiery with liberals saying, stop criticizing a politician. Yeah. And now liberals say, stop criticizing me for getting dark money.
Yeah.
Allegedly, the story's unfolding, but
there's just nothing to say, man. Like, it's like we should be able to criticize Gavin Newsom, especially like for bad shit that he's done.
Especially Gavin Newsom.
Especially now, like so far away from any potential 2028 primary.
Yeah. We haven't even had the midterm primaries
haven't even had the midterms yet. And I don't know, getting paid to spew a message that, you know, you disagree with is bad.
Yeah. Real big on
especially
that.
if you hide it.
Especially if you hide it.
So allegedly.
Should that be true? Allegedly, the story is unfolding actively. As we wrap up this episode, you know we got to give a special thanks to Caden Kraut, Chris the Postman, Christy Beck, Mike Chaplinsky, Clayton LaFed, Mark Yeager, Caleb Joy, Rich Toro, Tari Fergalaki, Max Vesquez, Jake Barges, Colt Moorberry, Fixer Punk, Jim Egbers, Big Burrito, Cincy Alex, Joe Centrum, Adrian Sandoval, Chloe Sam 601, Colleen Kutch, Jennifer DeVoe, Croft Fishin, Benny Bennington III, Alexia Benanti, Big Booty Beatdown, Sam Maloney, Ted Cruz's Boy Toy, Dictator Jace, Luke O'Shea, Carker Tarleson, Danielle Jackson, The Word of Microsoft, Jennifer Science, Aaron His Gundam Gundams, Darth Father, Tailored for Content, Corey Chambers, Retro Mondo, Veronica aka V, Raxon, Ass Smith the Grottler, Murder in a Trench Coat, Casey Lynn Kelly, AK Gon, Iguana Don, Zach Lantian, Austin Greif, Marcus Corbett, Caleb Roper, Taylor Rensock, Cammy, Tylen Freeman, Isaac Hodges, Madeline C, Anna Valenic, Casey C, Sayes to West, August Particular Pickman, Sir Capalot, Jeff Sines, Brendan is Egg, Froggy Gumdrop,
Jackie Boy, Shameless, Coherent Babbles, MJ Sharp, Michaela Muncie, The Wallace 3000, Chris T, Kishan Lala, Amanda R, Tyler J, Particulon, Memfrez, Rhonda Stiletto, Midwest Marxist, Joe the Mailman, Gary from West Michigan, Shawnee GG, Juniper Not Jupiter, Stacked Crabs, I Crowley, Urban Peach, Lorda Lauren, Holt Forsyth, Booty Snakes, Do Fairy, Chelceratops, Austin Lima, Lane Waltz, Azim Fit Hussein, Gorgeous Girl Mukes, Brooklyn G, Noverk the Dastardly, Goldthorn, Addy Book, Merlin, Cryobangi, Sergeant Pookie, Hoodie, Kim Kitsuragi, Rose Grimm, Kristen, Jamie the Young Extremist, Jack the Heathen, Archer W, Evan Mingo, AJ Torres, Elo Nico, Jake Hall, Seth Schmidt, Noah Sahas, Majawa, Ultra the Dragon, Mercy Boku, Dick Cheney and 6-inch Heels, Luke Wechter, Henry Kraggles, Tristan Ringsmith, Yaya, Asura the Atheist, Aiden Reese, Deep State Agent, Puddle Pirate, Joshua Franklin, Southern Lefty, Lark61, KC, Cannon Man, Troy H, Mark Muffalo, Nahan San Diego, Nut Mode, Nick from New Haven, Connor, Nick, Sound Logic, Sleven, I have never made a woman orgasm, John from Houston, and my mom. Thank you all so much for supporting the show on Patreon.
Thank you so much.
We're independent media.
We are independent media.
And we couldn't do it without you. You're what makes us independent.
But I'm trying not to be.
Yeah, if the DNC shows up with a check, I'm taking it.
Exactly. All of a sudden, I'll never talk about Gaza again.
And look, that'll be your clue.
Exactly.
That'll be your clue.
It's just like how we used to talk about if like a Bitcoin or like a cryptocurrency pulled up to us and wanted to do a rug pull, Hitocoin or whatever. Mm-hmm. You should be smart enough to know that we're rug pulling you.
Yeah, so don't listen to us.
And don't listen to us if we ever do that, but know we got paid a substantial amount of money.
Yeah, and that's what keeps the lights on.
Exactly.
Gotta keep the lights on.
We all want that, really.
Thanks for listening.
Have a great weekend.